My parents struggled to help me get recruited and earn a football scholarship because they didn't have a ton of time and all the information was confusing and overwhelming. And I know many other parents feel the same way. So after watching this video, you'll clearly understand how the recruiting process works and what you can do today to start helping your son get more exposure to college coaches and, more importantly, start building relationships with coaches, which will ultimately lead to more offers. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Richie Contartesi, and I earned a D1 football scholarship in the SEC at Ole Miss as a receiver at just 5'7" and 150 pounds, and now I've coached over 200 others to do the same. So let's jump into the 5 secrets to get recruited for college football and secure offers. Again, I want to stay really big picture here so you understand the entire process. So step 1 is you want to build your list of target schools, and you're going to build it to about 50 to 60 schools. And the reason you want to do this is because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And I want you to think of this like sales, because this is essentially a sales process. And the more at-bats and the more opportunities you have at the top of the process to fill into your funnel of schools, the more offers you'll have at the end. If you're only targeting, let's say 10 schools, you may only end up with 1 or 2 offers. But if you're targeting 50 or 60 schools and you follow this entire process, then you'll probably end up with more like 5 or 6 offers. And so obviously you want to have more opportunities to choose from and not be pigeonholed to only have 1 or 2. This is also going to really help you in the negotiation process. Now, it's really important that you find schools that fit you or your son's level of play. This is the first step because it is the most important. If you don't choose the right schools at the right level of play that your son currently fits in, then nothing else will work in this entire process. All your outreach won't work, your posting won't work, nothing will work because the people that you're driving back to your son's social media profile and to watch his video won't be interested because it doesn't match the level of play. All right. And then also you want to pick schools that fit all the other criteria, right? Like GPA, your where you want to live, all of that stuff. But the level of play is really, really important. And so I also know that choosing the schools can be really challenging. Because choosing the schools is so important, getting an evaluation is something I highly recommend. And there's 3 things you want to look for when getting an evaluation. That's 1, has that coach currently have college football recruiting experience? 2, have they given out scholarship offers? And 3, is it someone that will give an unbiased evaluation, specifically someone that doesn't know your son? Now, this is something that we do internally. So if you're interested in having us evaluate your son and let you know what divisions he'll have the best chance to play for, I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's move to step number 2. The second step is you want to create your highlight video, okay? And it's really important that you do this the right way, because when we start driving coaches back to your son's profile and back to watch his video, if his video is not set up properly, even if it's the right level, coaches will not continue through the process. They're not going to be interested in your son. So 1, we want to find the best plays that college coaches want to see, right? Not just what you feel are the best plays, not just your son, if he's a quarterback, throwing a bomb. Like it's not what they want to see, right? So you want to make sure it's not only the best plays, but the plays that college coaches actually want to see. 2 things that are really important on the highlight video. 1 is you want to make sure that your son is circled before the play begins. All right. And then the second thing is cut the play short. Don't have a bunch of time before the play starts and after the play. So right before the play starts, boom, there's a circle on your son. The play starts right when the play ends, cut it right there, and it goes to the next play. Okay, so second most important step, and again, I wanted to keep this really big picture with you because I want you to have a clear understanding of the entire recruiting process versus just the nitty gritty, right? If you want to know how to create your highlight video and to put the best plays, I've created an entire video on that, and I'll leave a link in the description below, or you can find it on my YouTube channel. Again, this is actually also something we do in our evaluation process, is we let you know the divisions, and then we also help you move the plays around so they are in the best order. And again, if that's something you're interested in, I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below. All right, step 2. Step 3 is you want to build your brand online. All right, so we got your video set up. We're targeting the right schools. Now it's time to build your son's basically his website online, because when you start doing outreach, they're going to want to go check him out and get to know him. So you want to make sure that the bio is set up properly. Okay. Again, if you want to know exactly how to do that, I have another video on my YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description below on how to set up the bio and how to post and all that stuff. But for this video, again, I want to keep it big picture. So post consistently 3 to 7 times per week. It's really important. Why? Because when you start sending emails and doing the outreach to college coaches, they're going to come back and look at your son's profile. They're going to want to watch his highlight video. They want to get to know him a little bit, and posting is the way to get to know, is for the way coaches can get to know your son and make sure he's the right character fit, make sure he's got the grades, make sure he can play for them, right? And those are the 3 things we'll talk about a little later that coaches are looking for. And what's cool is now today, you couldn't do this 10 years ago or 8 years ago, but you can do it today. And that's get coaches to really know, trust, and like you before the coach even talks to your son because of social media. And then the last thing is your son posts to nurture coaches, not to go viral, right? Because when you start doing outreach the right way, which I'm going to teach you in step 4, when you do that, coaches are going to go back to his ex. They're going to follow him. And when they follow him, then they're going to start seeing all his posts. Okay, so we want to nurture coaches. If you try to post to go viral, 1, your son won't post because of fear of what people think about him, because he's not getting enough views and enough likes and all that, so he won't post. So we want to make sure the goal is to nurture coaches, not to worry about views and to go viral. All right, so that's step 3. Step 4 is to now begin reaching out to college coaches, right? You know you're targeting the right schools, highlight videos set up properly, X account set up properly, and you're posting. Now it's time to reach out to college coaches, okay? And so this is where we're going to start driving coaches back to your son's social media. You want to reach out to find the area coach, not to get an offer. So again, the reason that kids don't do outreach to college coaches is because you're asking a kid to be really good at sales and do cold email and cold outreach with 0 experience and 0 coaching. And they're experiencing an insane amount of fear of rejection and fear of failure, right? That's what most people do when they have to do cold email outreach and stuff like that. And they're just not good at it, right? And so instead of making about trying to get an offer from an email, which you're never going to get an offer from an email, that's what people do. They send this huge email, right, with like their entire life story, and that's not going to work, right? Coaches don't have time for that, and then they just end up putting it in a recruiting folder, and then they never watch it. Instead, your email is short, simple, to the point, and the whole goal is just to find the area coach at that school. So you have your 50 to 60 schools. Now with those 50 to 60 schools, we just want to find the area coach for each one of those schools and then get the coach to watch your video. That's all we're doing in this initial outreach. Again, if you want to have the template and on everything on how to do the outreach and all that, I do have another YouTube video, and I also will leave a link below where you can download the template, get access to it, and start doing outreach. I actually created a training video on this where you can watch me doing this, where I'm not just telling you what to do, but I actually do the outreach, and you could follow along and do it yourself as well. Okay, so I'll leave a link in the description below where you can download and get access to that too. And then the last thing here, I want to just make this clear, is in my book, the Football Scholarship Playbook here, I do an entire chapter on the offer funnel, okay? And the offer funnel is basically the entire, it's basically a sales process, right? Of getting the coach, finding the area coach, getting that area coach to watch your son's video, from the video, getting that coach on a call, from the call, getting them to go on an official visit, and then the visit to an offer, right? And that's essentially what step 4 is, right? Is we're doing the outreach, finding the area coach, and getting them to watch your video, right? That's the initial top of the funnel for the entire offer funnel, right? So the big thing I want to mention here is, like, you just want to do it, right? Just start doing it. Don't worry about the automation tools and all that stuff, because you'll want to personalize it. And then once you get good at it, that's when you can start adding stuff like that later. But the most important thing, and I share this with families, is like most kids just don't do it. So the first thing is, let's just start doing it, right? And again, if you want to in-depth on this, on how to do this with email and X accounts through DMs, I'll leave that link below where you can download and get access to it completely free. And then step 5 is when we want to start building relationships with college coaches. So if you looked at that offer funnel, it's the last couple steps here, which is getting that coach on a phone, going on an official visit, and then going for the offer. So make it about helping the coach win, not about getting a scholarship, right? When kids do outreach, it's all about them. I want to get a scholarship. I want to play there. It's about me. And I want you to flip that mindset, right? The kids that have a lot of success with this, flip it, and they make it about helping the coach win, not about getting a scholarship, right? And so that's the first thing. Second thing is, there's three things I mentioned earlier when we were talking about the content when you're posting that you have to do in order to get an offer. There's three things that you have to prove to the coach. All right. One, that you have the grades. Two, that you can play for them, like play at that level. That's why step one is so important. And then three, that you have the character, that you have the actual character to do it. So that you fit their team and their culture. So you want to make sure you have those three. And then ultimately, you want to go ahead and ask for the offer. So very important at the very end here is you don't want to leave it up for grabs. You want to be able to have that fortitude to ask and the confidence to ask for the offer. Now, again, none of these steps will work unless you get an evaluation. So if you'd like our team to do the evaluation, we got over 30 years of Division I recruiting experience, and our head coach actually built the entire recruiting department at the University of Arkansas. So if you'd like our coach to do an evaluation and let you know what level your son has the best chance to playing in right now, I'll leave a link in the description below. And if you got value from this video and you'd like to watch more videos just like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you want to watch my last video where we talk about how to do the outreach to college coaches, then you're going to want to watch this video right here.